I was younger, I used to think that the worst thing you can do to yourself is the self-inflicting pain and repercussions of getting drunk. You know, well, it's apparent the following day when you have a hangover. But in this video, I'm trying to debunk that. Well, everyone knows that alcohol is bad, right? Well, we have a competitor here. It's the F word. And try to make a guess as we go along. And towards the end of this video, you decide who's the winner, alcohol or this F word. Hi, Jonah of Primal Thinker here, and I want to have a little disclaimer here that I'm not a doctor of any sorts. I'm just a girl in the internet trying to connect the dots, sharing my own experiences with you. And if you're okay with that, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so I can share my eureka moments with you. Okay, so for step number 2, we break down the problem into its fundamental principles, and the fundamental principles will be discovered by asking questions. The first question is, how is alcohol metabolized by your body? Well, it's fair to ask because maybe just 1% of the population don't drink, and we are all drinkers, admitted. Well, I drink occasionally. So, but have you ever thought what happens to the alcohol when it enters your body? Well, I'll explain that to you. And okay, let's start with ethanol. Ethanol is another name for alcohol. And let's say we are consuming 120 calories of pure alcohol. And what happens is that 80% of that 120 calories, that's 96 calories, is given to your liver. So it enters your liver cells, and then it produces something called acetate. Don't worry about the term or the jargon, but what ends up happening is that this acetate is fed to the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of your cells. And this is the energy machine, if you will. It produces energy for you. That's why you have energy. It's because of the mitochondria. And for this case, since this is a whopping 96 calories for your liver cells, the mitochondria cannot handle it in a snap. So what it does is it goes through the process of converting that ethanol to fat. And there's actually a name for this. It's called de novo lipogenesis. De novo meaning new, lipo means fat, then genesis is creation. So we are creating new fat here because the mitochondria cannot process all these calories at once. And so the fat is fed to your liver cells, and a part of it is being freed to your bloodstream. These are called free fatty acids. And then, if you keep on doing this, your liver cells will get fat and fat and fat. And this is where the fatty liver disease comes in. That's why alcoholics have fatty liver. Okay, so we all know that alcohol is bad, but who is the competitor I am looking at? Well, this is not yet the F word, but it's the S word, which is sugar. And later we'll get onto the F word. But for now, let's focus on sugar. So sugar, how is sugar metabolized by your body? Have you ever wondered how? Well, sugar is also called sucrose. And I show this to you not to be memorized, but I'm trying to point out here that sucrose is 2 parts actually. And these 2 parts, if you can observe the structure of sucrose here, the left-hand side is actually glucose. It's the hexagon on the left part of the sucrose chemical structure. And on the right is the fructose, which is the pentagon. Can you see it? So why did I emphasize this? It's because glucose and fructose are metabolized differently by your body. So let's start with glucose. So the first half, since sugar is half glucose, half fructose. Okay, so let's say we are intaking the same number of calories from glucose, so 120 kilocalories. And only 20% is given to your liver to be processed. Why? Because every single cell in your body has the capability of metabolizing glucose for energy. So the other 80% is distributed throughout your body, the 20% is given to your liver. And what happens in the liver? Part of that only 24 calories for this case is stored as glycogen. So this is like, you can think of it as an energy storage, so that if you need instant energy, you have something to hold, right? So glycogen is the storage form of glucose. And part of it is converted to pyruvate through a process, many processes. Again, don't worry about name, but this pyruvate is fed to your mitochondria, the powerhouse of your cells. And probably there will be a little excess. And what do we do with the excess? We turn it to fat. And you know the term for this, it's de novo lipogenesis, right? And so there goes the fat to your liver and other parts of your body. Right? So it seems like there's nothing harmful for glucose as opposed to ethanol earlier, right? But what about fructose? Fructose, that's the other half of sugar. Let's say we have 120 calories from fructose. And this is mind-blowing because fructose cannot be metabolized by any other cells in your body except your liver cells. So the whole part of the 120 calories is given to your liver, and processing fructose has this byproduct of uric acid, byproduct called uric acid. Basically, it's garbage. And this has been associated with gout and hypertension, and that's a whole other story. But for this case, let's focus on what happens to the fructose inside the liver cell. So it's the same, it creates a pyruvate to be fed to your mitochondria. And this time we have 120 calories. If you remember with glucose, we only had 24 calories to deal with, and actually half of that is glycogen, so around only 12 calories is processed by the mitochondria for glucose. However, for fructose, we are dealing with 120 calories here, this scenario. So what happens is majority of it is actually being turned into fat, the excess energy. It's the question of volume. Your mitochondria cannot handle that much calories to burn. So this is also called, this de novo lipogenesis. And off you go, the fat to your liver and other parts of your body. So now, I think you can see that we are all dealing here with 120 calories, right? But in different substances, like ethanol, glucose, and fructose, there are cases where you produce more fat, right? And actually, fructose is the worst because 100% is given to your liver, and your liver produces fat out of the excess energy. And if you keep on repeating the habit of sugar eating, where you have fructose, guess what? You'll have the same liver as with the alcoholics. And it's the fatty liver disease. So it's pretty obvious that it's harmful to your liver. But what about your brain? Well, your brain, if your body is being fed with alcohol or fructose, this is what happens. The dopamine receptors are downregulated. What does that mean? That just means that your brain says, I want more of you, ethanol and fructose. It's kind of craving for these substances. And it's shouting like, give it to me, because it wants to get satisfied. It wants its cravings to get satisfied. And I want to show you this clip from Super Size Me. And this man has gone through a month, I think, of ingesting fast food from McDonald's, which contains a lot of fructose, sugar, if you don't know it yet. And let's see what he says.
Doubled my risk of coronary heart disease, making myself twice as likely to have heart failure. I felt depressed and exhausted most of the time. My mood swung on a dime, and I craved this food more and more when I ate it, and got massive headaches when I didn't.
So that's addiction. Number one, his tolerance went up and up and up because the cravings became stronger and stronger the more he ate these foods. And number two, once the food is not available for him to eat, he gets withdrawal syndromes like headache and everything like that. But you might be thinking, well, at least with sugar, I'm not getting this drunk, you know. I'll not be this drunk with fructose. But if you think about it, fructose is like a thief in the night. And you don't know, there's something going on inside you. It's just not apparent. Why? Because remember ethanol, 80% of it is processed by your liver. The other 20%, a part of it is being processed by your brain. Well, versus fructose, 100% of it is processed by your liver and 0% is processed by your brain. And so that's the reason why with alcohol, the effects are apparent the moment you drink it. But with fructose, it takes, 1,000 meals. Just like diabetes, you don't get diabetes with just one meal. You get diabetes with 1,000 meals. Okay? So given those principles, we all know about the beer belly, right? So that's from alcohol. And in today's generation, wherever you look, there are fat kids. And why? Because this is what Robert Lustig called soda belly. And it's a current epidemic in today's generation. Okay, given those principles, let's move on to, now we know this, what happens? What can we do? So honestly, the answer is simple but not easy. It's free yourself from sugar. Choose real food. And I want to challenge you because in today's world, every packaged food probably has sugar in it. Even the pasta sauce or the dressings, everything has sugar. Why? Because food companies know that food tastes better when there's sugar. And another thing is the discovery of the high fructose corn syrup. From the name itself, it's high fructose, so it's much worse than sugar and it's cheaper. So take a look at the ingredients of what you're buying, and if you can cut sugar totally, that's good. And or just cook your own food so you know what's in your food, you know what you're putting into your body. And I'm interested if you are a sugar addict or not. I hope you're not, but most probably because of today's food, that's the case. Everyone is a sugar addict. So you can only know if you just know what you put into your body by cooking real food, right? Okay, enough of that. I'll end with this clip from Robert Lustig's talk in University of California.
Think twice about not giving your kid a Budweiser, but you don't think twice about giving your kid a can of Coke. But they're the same.
That closes this video. The F word is obviously fructose. And fructose is a really, really, really good competitor of alcohol. And the interesting fact is we just don't know that it's bad for us, unlike alcohol, because the effects are apparent. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, guys. I have just one request from you. Please do hit the like button and subscribe if you are enjoying my videos, because that is the only way that I know that you are enjoying my videos. So that keeps me inspired to create new videos for you. So see you in the next video.